So it's Friday, weirdly starting this episode on a Friday because it's been a heck of a week and I haven't made an episode for a week now because my car, the vehicle that I'm in now and the vehicle that you're used to seeing me sat in, had a recall on it basically, and all of a sudden I got a warning message through the BMW partner system, whatever it is that's on my car, coming up saying that the car was going into limp mode and I was unable to really keep driving it, so that was a bit of an issue. Contacted BMW service centre and yes, the dreaded recall had caused issues with my vehicle, so it has been a bit of a week. It went in last Friday and I got it back last night, so they've had it for a week. Touch wood, things seem to be okay. They've replaced a few parts and sorted the issue out, but it's been, it's not been great for business, let's put it that way. I've had to reschedule, cancel, move around, a lot of work. I've not lost any work, but it's pushed work back, which then has a knock on to other things that were in the calendar, so I've had to rearrange 5 site visits. I'm going to have to fit some in probably tomorrow on a weekend, and in total 5 jobs have been moved, and it's just been a bit of an issue. It's been a bit of a dilemma, and it's finally November. Really hectic month in October. We ended the month on nearly £11,000 worth of revenue in October, which is a massive week for us. Massive month for us. So really crazy October, and now November starts again. And I'm in Dudley. I'm back in Dudley, but I'm not on tree officer support, which is rare. But I'm driving currently, just heading from Bilston towards Sedgley for one of my own projects, and this is for a client that was actually one of my first big clients when the business started this time last year, which is mad to think that it's nearly a year of trading now, because officially I left my full-time employment at the end of November 2023 and I started working with this client, a big house builder in the Midlands, at the end of December. So this is the 4th project we'll have done for them, 4th or 5th project. Just been a really stressful week, like not knowing when I was getting stuff back, and I kept saying to BMW, I need to know when I'm getting my car back, I need to know how long you're going to have it, I need to rearrange site visits, I've got clients that are depending on me to turn up, and it was all just very stressful really. I'm pleased to say that we're back at work and we're back doing a big survey. I actually went and picked my car up yesterday about 3 o'clock, and then I went and did a site visit in Derby, just a little domestic client, building an extension on the back of the property. I didn't film any of that. I just haven't really filmed anything because I've just felt like, what can I really show you when I've been at home? All right, stuff's been going on. It's not like everything's ground to a halt. I've just been processing a lot of reports and writing a lot of stuff. Been messing about quite a lot with the new ChatGPT Canvas mode and using that to do some coding, which has been really exciting. And I've been showcasing some of that on LinkedIn, and I've got a separate video coming about the new Canvas mode and the new web search functionality, which is also really good. So I've been trialing a few things, I've been testing a few things, I've been doing some research development, some quotes, some report writing. I've written 2 or 3 reports this week, I think it's 2, and I've sort of started and half drafted one. It's been busy and I've had stuff to do, and it's been okay in that sense that I've been moaning I haven't had much time to get any office admin processing stuff done, report writing, so that's been good for that. But the knock-on now is a lot of surveys have to be pushed back, which means next week we are fully stacked out with surveys again. Anyway, now it's a Friday and we've got a big survey. This one that we're going to now is big. It's a big survey. It's not really a survey I like to put in on a Friday, but it is what it is. So we'll see how this one goes. But I'll film bits where I can. We've got the drone with us as well. So with this particular client, when we do these development surveys for them, we like to get a load of photos for them as well, which they use. So they use their photos for promoting the site. So site promotion documents. These are documents that go out sort of telling prospective buyers of land about the land, the lay of the land, the constraints, where it is, where it's positioned, how far from infrastructure, towns, cities, that sort of stuff. And they've asked if they can use some of our photos in the past. So now when we pick up jobs for them, we put the drone up and we get a load of photos that they can use for their site promotion documents as well. We don't charge for it, but in return they put our branding on their site promotion documents. So they say photos supplied by, oh, this road's closed. They say photos supplied by Arboricultural, which is really good for us. A little bit of extra advertising for free, essentially. I mean, okay, you could argue that we have to put the drone up and that takes time to do and a cost to us to launch a drone, but it doesn't really. It's not a massive job, but it's all good stuff. And we're back in a car. The car's back, which is great. So it's just gone Monday morning, start of a new week, and I am not in the office. I'm back out on site, back out specifically at the church sites that we're undertaking. Today I've started in Derby, I'm heading to Burton, and then from here I'm going over to Loughborough because there's a little bit of a surprise in store. I don't want to let on too much, but there's something going on in Loughborough. But I just finished this site, 18 trees in total, a couple of groups, really nice oak on the boundary, a few little issues, defects, but nothing that's of concern or warranting any works. So yeah, another lovely site visit. I have to say I'm really enjoying these church sites. They all have a very similar feel, they're all quite well kept, but yeah, they all have this sort of similar building style, gated entrance, all that sort of stuff, but they're really nice. I'll show you this oak, and behind me I've just picked up, this was the last tree that I picked up, and this is a tulip tree, Liriodendron tulipifera, stunning leaves. Luckily there was a few leaves on it still, and on the ground, look at that for a leaf. Amazing, so unique. Reminds me of those Billy Bear ham slices that you used to be able to buy when we were a kid. Really heavily processed meat, but anyway, so really nice tulip tree, nothing really wrong with that. And then over here is the oak tree, lovely mature oak, just turning as well, so the leaves are just starting to go that lovely yellow, autumn colour. It's great. Now on to Burton, next site, cracking on, loads to do as always, busy with these surveys. And then tomorrow I'm in Birmingham at the NEC because I'm helping the Arboricultural Association with a National School Leavers conference. So that's quite exciting. We're using the virtual reality headset. We're taking the Meta Quest 2, and I've set up a load of 3D models of trees, veteran ancient trees, trees with risk features, some fungi that I've scanned over the years. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Wednesday, Friday, Dudley, Thursday, back doing the rounds here. But this afternoon, yeah, we're going to go and have a look at potentially the future workhorse of Arb Innovators. So I've just finished up on site 2. There's nothing of particular note on this site. A couple of nice big trees on the frontage, but we're not really sure who owns them. But they've been picked up, and it's now on to the third one, which, all being well, will be pretty straightforward. But yeah, ownership on these, not entirely sure if I'm honest, but I've picked them up. They do encroach into the site, they do overhang. Absolutely stunning pollard on the front of this site. The regrowth on it must be 30-40 years old, but an absolutely amazing tree. And another one ticked off the list. Just rattling through them at the moment, it seems. Trying to pick up as many as possible. And now we'll move on to the next one. So close the gates up and put the bollards back up. But yeah, no real conflict with these ones on the frontage. The only thing that I've noted is that there is a phone line passing through the crown, which goes from the BT pole in the street and through the edge of these crowns to the tower out the front of the church. Chimney tower, I'm not quite sure what it is. So there's a little bit of conflict there, so we're pruning away from the phone lines and then inspected obviously the trees. There's a little bit of pavement damage, but it is so minor that it doesn't warrant any works to the trees or to the pavement. And like I say, we're still not really sure, with them being in the highway verge and beyond the perimeter fence, who even owns these trees. But picked up, done our job, we've been thorough, and now time to lock up, put the bollard back up and on to the next one. In other news, yesterday I managed to find the missing ND filter, and no, it wasn't in the bag, before you say that, or before you think that. It was actually tucked down this really annoying little gap that BMW insist on putting in their seats. I'm not quite sure what the relevance of it is, but nevertheless, I think it's for people with slightly longer legs maybe. I don't have that problem. I am not vertically challenged, but managed to find it quite annoyingly. So I bought that filter, and just sod's law, isn't it, that the day after it arrived in the post, I actually found the other filter. And actually, I'm glad I found it, because I'm not really getting on with this new filter. It's a variable ND, so you can change whilst it's on. It's called a variable ND, and you can change it whilst it's on. This one, you can't change. This is just a fixed ND16. The other one's a variable ND, but it has this weird coating on it called a bloom coating or something like that. And essentially what that does is it makes all this lovely stuff like you see out the window here to the side of me. It makes all the highlights very soft and glowy, like very sort of, well, it's called a bloom for a reason. It kind of blooms the highlights rather than the highlights being pretty solid, white, for example, in this case up here. It kind of adds this soft haze effect, which is all right, but I'll be honest, if you look to my right, look at the haze in here and this kind of, oh, it's so dreamy. Finding it a little bit annoying. Plus, I've noticed in direct sunlight, there's then this weird green tinge on the image, so I look a little bit like I'm about to be sick. And I think that's because it's got this green coating on it, which helps with blooming and softening the highlights. But anyway, so I found the other one. If I don't get on with this one much longer, I can swap to that one at least. But I found it.
For general inquiries, please press 2. For the design department, please press 3. For accounts, please press 4.
Hello, Pauls.
Oh, hi there. I'm just after a rough price, and I know it's a bit of a long shot maybe, but a rough price for a full wrap on like a Citroen Berlingo short wheelbase van.
Will that be a digital wrap, like a, you know, like to advertise your business, or a colour change wrap?
Yeah, it'd be for a business, so it'd be like predominantly just
business.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, mate. And what plates Berlingo on?
19 plate.
About £2,000.
Okay.
That's for a full wrap, including the roof.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll be design work as well, probably, because we've never had a van wrap before. The colour of the van that we're looking to buy is white, but we need it a completely different colour. So
Yeah, we can do that for you. Like I say, for a full wrap on a small size van, we charge like 250 quid. You'll get 5 amendments with that. If you've got a logo, we can incorporate that. Again, just you come down and have a chat with designer. He'll run through a few bits with you, and then we can get it sorted for you, pal.
All right, nice one. Thanks very much for that.
No worries.
I'll be in touch. Yeah, all right, mate.
Thanks a lot for your call.
Cheers, bye. So yeah, I just stopped off and had a look at a Citroen Berlingo. I was driving past the garage on the A38 heading to Burton, and I didn't realise this particular garage did commercial vehicles, and apparently they didn't until about 2 or 3 months ago. The van I'm going to look at now is a grey van. It's a VW Caddy, so it's completely different to the Citroen Berlingo. It's much older. If I'm honest, the Berlingo we've just been and looked at is a 19 plate. The VW Caddy I'm on the way to now is a 14 plate, they're roughly the same price, but the VW Caddy looks to be in a lot better condition. All the back is lined out with like a carpeted floor, carpeted walls. It's in very neat condition, and I was actually amazed at the condition of it for saying it's a 10-year-old vehicle. Not a mark on it, certainly from the pictures and from what he tells me on the phone. We're going to go and find out now. But that's slightly less cost in terms of wrapping, because it's in this grey, very sort of dark anthracite, Nardo type grey. It's already pretty much in our brand colours, and then we can just pay for sign writing rather than a complete wrap. So there is a huge cost difference there, and that's what I've got to weigh up now. Do I want a 10-year-old van that's a similar price to a 5-year-old van but will cost us less to get sign written than a white van? Or do I want a white van which is newer and has a slightly better spec, if I'm honest? The Citroen Berlingos are quite well equipped, has sat-nav, it has DAB radio. The VW Caddy doesn't have sat-nav, it doesn't have DAB radio, but it's a VW, so it's a slightly better build quality. There is the slight issue with the injector problem on the 1.6 Caddy, which I do know about. So I need to go and check the serial numbers on the injectors, because apparently there are certain numbers that are known to have faults. So that's one of the things I'm going to check. Yeah, a few things to weigh up. So it's Wednesday. Don't worry, you didn't skip past Tuesday. I didn't actually film anything yesterday, but I'm heading back to the NEC for the National School and College Leavers Festival. I wasn't meant to be here today, but I've been asked back because the virtual reality experience, the VR tree inspection, turned out to be quite a popular and quite a success really. So I've come back to help the Arbor Association with day 2, but every stand practically has a VR simulator or a VR headset or some sort of augmented reality. The Army have shown up in great numbers, and they've got, I don't know, a bank of racing simulators. The RAF have got helicopter simulators. The stand next to us has a excavator simulator, which is really impressive. I think Leica have kind of helped coordinate or fund that, I don't know. Visually assessing the condition of this tree, a bit like if you went to your doctor would say, what symptoms have you got? Let me have a look, let me examine you, yeah? That's what you're doing at the moment.
There's something growing out here, there's leaves coming out of it.
Okay, is there anything on like 6, 7 or 8?
There's a hole at 8.
Okay.
There's a hole at the bottom.
Which could well be leading to a big cavity, yeah?
Yeah.
So that tree could be hollowing inside.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think there's some, there's some fungi on the bottom of it.
Yeah, nice. Cool, so stand back up. Is there anything else on that stem around where you're looking that you should be concerned about?
There's some more fungi on the bottom. The bark's dark up here, it's darker than what it is down.
Are you pretty confident you've had a look at all of this tree?
Yeah. I don't think I can see anything else.
No, I think you've done a good job. So what a day, what a day. 2 days back to back at the National School and College Leavers. I'm tired, I tell you, I'm as tired as I would be if I was doing a survey or a mammoth BS survey and then a report. Talking to young adults that don't really have much of an idea of what they want to do or where they want to go in life or end up in life is a lot trickier than it sounds. And yeah, hope I did the Arb Association and Arboriculture as an industry justice and managed to help sell what an amazing, diverse industry this can be, that there is an opportunity for a lot of people from a lot of backgrounds with a lot of skill sets, or people that are a little bit lost and wandering and not really sure what they do, and maybe want a practical job but don't want to go into construction or something like that. People with a bit of a passion or enthusiasm for environmental topics or subjects, as well as people that have got an interest in tech and perhaps, like me, struggle to know where they really fit when they wanted to be environmental but had this sort of almost tech brain and technological brain. So hopefully did a good job of showing that it's not all just tree climbing, it's not all just swinging around with a chainsaw, which is a cool and massive part of the industry. It's probably over 50% of the industry. But to also explain that there are technical roles, there are progression routes in a sort of research background or a teaching background, or working with local government or local organisations, community groups, charities. It's been an inspiring day in the sense that I now feel like I have a better understanding of where a lot of these 15, 16-year-olds were, because it's 20 years since I was in that position, and you kind of forget that you're a bit like a rabbit in the headlights or a deer in the headlights, and you stood there thinking, I don't really know what I like, I don't really know much about myself at the moment. And when you're that age, you're still very much forming your ideas and beliefs and kind of what makes you tick and what doesn't make you tick and all those sort of things. So but the VR was a huge success. I tried to film bits. The difficulty with filming, essentially, you are filming a lot of young adults, people under sort of 16, so classed as minors, although they've probably had to, as a school organisation, say that they're happy and they give consent for people to be filmed. It's not as straightforward as just filming random people. So I was a little bit careful about how I did that. I did ask a couple of people if they were okay with it, and sure enough they were, and tried not to really sort of film front of faces and all the things you have to consider. And I am super happy that I gave up 2 days of my time, because it provided me with an opportunity to not only talk to the Arbor Association a little bit more about ideas for the future and immersive learning experiences and VR at shows and conferences and all that sort of stuff, but I also got to talk to Lantra, who were there. So that was really fruitful, and had a good discussion with them about the future of training and training needs and visual learning and updating of certain things. So that was a good chat. And also I got to chat to another company, so a green skills company, that do a lot of stuff again in the training, and they do countryside and wildlife and environmental studies and all those sort of things. So again, another opportunity to talk to them about the huge potential of photogrammetry and VR and all these wonderful things. So really productive day. There's a lot to follow up on now, and goes back to how much work is on my plate, that when you've got to do the fee earning stuff and prioritise the fee earning stuff, there's not a lot of time for business development and getting back to all these people, and you have to make time to do that, and it's just layers and layers and layers and adds and adds and adds and adds to the amount and the mountain that you already have to do. And these are all the things you have to do when you're a business owner. I get that. You have to juggle a lot of things, you have to spin a lot of plates. You have to make sure that you're doing the fee earning work whilst also growing the business, and it's a massive challenge. And how to overcome that at the minute, I don't know. I have some ideas, but they're quite costly, and it means a sort of added pressure to sustain workload and all those things that come with employing people and taking people on, and all the policies that need making, and the payroll to sort out, and buying extra equipment, finding extra office space, all of that sort of stuff is a challenge. It's a lot at the moment, but there we go. So it's Saturday morning, and unsurprisingly, I'm in the office for what is a weekend of working. I've got site visits tomorrow, and I've got things to sort out today. This is one of the downsides, the many downsides at times, of being out and about all over the country all week, is that there is a lot of admin to process. And I've said this lots of times before, so I'm not going to bore you to death on that. But I'm just trying to tie up a few little bits. So I've got a few reports to write. I've got some reports that were sent off and that have come back with a few comments and things that we need to change, and layouts and proposals have been changed based on our findings. Now they've had the baseline constraints, so they've had all the information they need. certain development proposals have changed because I've advised them to work around particular trees or avoid losses to particular trees. So that's really good. I also had a question to an architect where I was like, I need to know the foundation design on this project because there's a lot of incursions, new incursions within root protection areas of trees. So they've come back and clarified that. But perhaps most importantly, this morning, I am working with a designer who I've known for some time now, a guy called Ed Penner, and he is going to have a look at our logo because when I started this business nearly a year ago now, which is crazy to say, but I pretty much drew this almost Frankenstein logo up. It was a combination of several bits and pieces and some text, and it all just got pulled together, but it was never vectorized. It was never made into a proper logo. So Ed is going to formally make that into a logo, so an SVG, PNG, JPEG, PDF, all the different formats we need. And he's also going to look at reviewing our B in the ARB for ARB, because some people, and not everyone, I must say, it seems to be a bit like that. You remember that thing that went round, that meme where, or whatever it was, where it was like, is this dress gold and black or blue and gold or whatever it was now? I can't remember. And some people saw it gold and some people saw it blue, and there was this huge. Some people see our B as a B and can't see that why people could see it as an R, and then other people see it as two R's, so they think it says ARR Innovators, and other people think it says ARB Innovators or ARB Innovators. I personally, and this is probably because I designed it, so I'm a little bit biased and I'm in it, it's a B. The R is very angular and the B is a bit more hooked. But anyway, some people see it as a R, some people see it as a B. And because, big news, we have a van, we haven't picked it up yet, but the van, I've made a decision, and that will be coming in next week's episode. But I have decided that I need to get this stuff sorted before we get the van sign written. I don't know why I said sign, like China. Don't know what that was about. Before we get the van sign written, I need to get this sorted, because the last thing I want to do is go to the expense of getting the van sign written, and then I decide that too many people are saying, is it ARR or ARB, which, to be fair, is a small majority of people that are saying ARR. But I need to get it sorted, because the last thing I'll do is then shell out for another wrap because I get conscious about it and I need to change it. So he's going to sort that out. I am making masses of work for myself, because as something as simple as just changing that logo is going to have a massive knock-on effect. I'm going to change the website. I'm going to change the Google business profile. I'm going to have to change our report templates, all of our standard terms documents, our policy documents, our quote templates, our invoice templates, literally everything, all of the stuff on social media is all going to have to be changed to be this new logo. I may not go back and change everything because I don't think many people will notice, but they may do. Anyway, to sort that out for Ed, he's set up a Google Drive, and I've got to drop all our existing stuff in there, so hex codes for the green on ARB, and what the font type is and all this sort of stuff, so he knows, and he's going to have a play around with the B. So he's going to take our logo and not only vectorize it and make it more formal, so when I send it to printers it's more accurate, he is going to also see if he can do something with the B. It will be very subtle. I've told him I don't want to lose the identity, I don't want to lose the look of it, so it's going to be a very, very subtle change. What I think he'll do is probably put more of a hook on the B so it comes more underneath, and that's probably a way of fixing it. But he's a whiz. I trust Ed. Sent him some money. He's going to sort it out for me. The plan that I had for this week kind of went out the window, which meant all the filming plan went out the window. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next week.